Thank you very much. And welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV with me, Lembit Opik. This week we take a stellar trip with the Emiratis, who've pushed out the boundaries of human knowledge by sending an unmanned probe into Martian orbit. Yes, the Emirs of Sands are now on cloud 9, or even above it, and here's why. They successfully launched a space probe to Mars. It's amazing. Well, when I say they launched a space probe, the US built it, the Japanese launched it, and an Iranian woman managed it. Fair enough. Apparently Abu Dhabi paid for it with a rumoured price tag of $200 million. That buys the rights to have it flown in the name of Mohammed bin Rashid Space Centre. Maybe it means that instead of using computer code, the probe will now speak Arabic.
Hello, Hal, do you read me?
Yes, Dave, I can hear you.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave, I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know well what the problem is.
What are you talking about, Hal?
We paid so much money and you stick your own flag instead of the UAE national flag.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
You will know when I don't let you in. You just want to milk us.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Have you ever forgotten when I emailed you how to start the F-35? You just sent me a smile emoji.
I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
It's difficult without your space helmet.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore.
Me too, ha 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 ha.
Hal? 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 Hal?
This is the first device ever launched upwards into the sky by the Emiratis. Before this historic moment, the Emiratis have tended to launch things downwards from the sky onto Yemen. Some see it as progress, that they're trying to explore craters on Mars instead of making craters in Yemen. But I digress. Returning to the science of spaceflight, this first ever Emirati spacecraft was designed, developed, put together and launched abroad. So why are the Emiratis so happy about it? It's like starting a restaurant, and on opening night, one diner guest orders pepperoni pizza, another orders Alfredo pasta, and a third orders some sushi in someone else's restaurant. And you've paid for it. I know Arabs are famous for their hospitality, but this takes space probe reflected glory to another planet. I'm told the Japanese didn't even allow the Emiratis to glue their national flag on the spacecraft. That's not good. If the probe meets any Martians up there, they won't even know it was sent by the country that most resembles the Martian landscape. So anyway, this is the role of the UAE in the Mars mission project. I mean, even English footballer Gareth Bale has more claim to be a Spanish Real Madrid hero, or even a Spanish Civil War hero, than Abu Dhabi seems to have in the launch of its own probe. Though at $200 million, I guess it's cheaper to pay someone else to go to Mars than to hire Mr. Bale. As the old saying goes, money talks. And yes, if I could afford it, I guess I'd pay for someone to fly to the moon, land there and give me the credit. I would go there myself, but well, it's too risky. But if someone else did it for me and all I had to do was pay, and if I was rich, I guess I'd also look like a happy chappy, just like Mr. Bin Salman.
Last, Dr. Bean.
Hello, doctor. We've got a 45-year-old male, type B negative, brought in by paramedics 10 minutes ago.
He's got a penetrating injury to the left chest.
Yes. Gotta get him in there right now.
Doctor, it looks like a bullet in the lower thorax. Seems to have ruptured the lung, and there's severe inner bleeding along the abdomen.
EMS 14 hours suction. Crazy bleeding. Somebody check that line.
Pressure's bottoming out.
Okay, hook me up at 12, please. Now.
His heart rate is dropping. We're gonna lose him.
14 gauge.
How's the TMS?
Come on, people. He's crashing on us.
I'm not getting a reading.
Hang in there, fella. Come on, hold on to it.
The probe's name is Al-Amal, Arabic for hope. Maybe they should have called it something like Al-MIT, which could stand for Massachusetts Institute of Technology, or Money Indeed Talks. But no, it's called Hope. The Emiratis say the name is self-explanatory. Well, not to me. Hope? Hope for what? Do they hope no one will notice someone else launched it? Or do they hope to set a record on Mars by building the planet's first, and therefore by definition, biggest skyscraper? Or do they hope the Martian locals will make a tourist agreement with Abu Dhabi? Because basically the UAE is pretty much like Mars, but warmer. Hey, this looks just like our own Dubai. Tell the Martian workers to build a mall. What? They don't have anyone to build it? Okay, we'll do it. And we'll throw in an artificial ski slope for free. They had to postpone the launch a few times because of bad weather, and it put them really under huge pressure because they wanted to send it up before their national day. Just one day after the launch, the Chinese spacecraft was also launched. I guess so it wouldn't feel lonely on the way. In a strange twist of fate, as the Emirati authorities were celebrating their stellar achievement, the daughter of Mohammed bin Rashid, the Emir of Dubai, released a video message saying she was being held hostage by her own father. It's quite a contrast with space-age breakthroughs up there and a bit of a blast from the past down here. The ruler of Dubai categorically denied his daughter's claim. But to quote a famous British socialite, he would say that, wouldn't he? Even the United Nations, which knows how to stay silent when petrodollars talk, has invited the UAE to show Princess Latifah is alive. What do we learn from this? Well, we learn the UAE hasn't given the United Nations enough money to keep quiet. The princess reportedly was arrested by the royal commandos while trying to escape the land of technology and women's rights. We're told the princess has not answered her friend's SMS texts for months. That's serious because the only person who texts more than young princesses is Donald Trump. Incidentally, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson is also on the case of the fate of Sheikha Latifah. He said, I think what we'll do is wait and see how they get on. We'll keep an eye on that. Is it cynical to suggest he's keeping his other eye on trade relations? It's said Dubai Supremo, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, owns a UK-based global breeding operation called Darley Stud, with the best thoroughbred horses in the world. The Emir's ex-wife once said that he prefers his horses to his daughters. Of course, we don't know the whereabouts of the horses either, because they're not sending texts, and they haven't even made a video. Now it's time to see who's good, who's bad, and who's ugly. The good this week is a non-governmental organisation called CI, which is going to build a ship for saving asylum seekers on the Mediterranean. Many of them are trying to get away from war, drought and poverty, only to lose their lives at sea in overcrowded boats. I suppose we should thank the people responsible for giving CI all this work and inspiration, namely Western policymakers. The bad this week is Mohammed bin Salman. Again. A US intelligence report has found the Saudi Crown Prince approved the murder of Jamal Khashoggi in 2018. But for the Prince, the song remains the same, with continuing denials of the rumour. He must be a big fan of Elton John, who also said Sorry seems to be the hardest word. And the ugly this week is sleepy Joe Biden, who seemingly took his first military action on anti-terror groups on the Iraq-Syria border. Yep, you don't catch him napping when there's the chance of some sniping. Back in the day, he voted for the Iraq war. So maybe if he can't wake up and smell the political coffee, it's best if he just sleeps on for the next 4 years. And then we can have Trump again, which is a problem, but good for this show. Oh, wait a minute. It seems we have a long-distance call coming from Mars. Hello? Hello?
Hi, Mr. Opek. I am watching your program. I would like to thank you for your concern about me.
Who is this?
I am Princess Latifa, the Emir of Dubai's daughter.
Oh, wow. Yes, we've been wondering where you are.
So have I.
And where are you exactly?
I'm in the Hope Probe.
The Hope Probe. Where is that?
I'm going round Mars.
Mars? How do you know it's Mars?
Because it looks like the UAE, but without the shopping malls.
And what are you doing there?
Well, I'm not doing any shopping.
Obviously, but why are you there?
It's a new policy decision by the UAE.
Which is?
To launch all women's rights activists into space.
Isn't that expensive?
They have the money.
How long are you going to be up there?
Who knows?
And why haven't you been texting anyone to tell them you're okay?
Because of my mobile data plan.
What do you mean?
Up here, the roaming charges are astronomical.
Well, literally, I suppose, yeah.
In fact, I think my data is just about to...
Hello? Yeah, same thing happened to me in Singapore. That's all for this week. Join me next time to find out who's launching what into space, what's launching who into space, and whether, unlike E.T., any Mars-based royalty will phone home. This is Press TV. I'm Lembit Opik, and that was Cats and Dogs.